Hi, everyone. Oh, is it not going? Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chatting with Viewers for December. Oh, I hate that that does that. No, don't send me email and make the thing go off. Welcome to Chatting with Viewers for December 30th, 2021. And maybe you are new. Maybe you're joining me for the first time, and you're like, hey, wait, Liam's the Elworks guy. Liam does YouTube? Yeah, Liam does. And Liam has been doing a lot more YouTube than much anything else lately. And I started doing this year, actually, what I'm calling these social streams. And I'm not the first to do it. It's not like I'm breaking new ground. But, you know, it's kind of cool because I feel like it's a cool way for me to talk to you guys and just chat a little bit. Maybe see what's going on in your world, tell you what's going on in my world, brainstorm a little bit, and be a little more personal. Because I really do feel like that this is a community and that it is important for us to communicate. So, first of all, let me say thank you for being here. I know that this week has been very sparse. I wanted to stream a little bit more in December. I knew that it was going to be one of those weeks or like one of those months where there wasn't a lot going on because of the holiday. But I didn't know how barren it was really going to be. Hey, Alex, how's it going? Hey, Joseph. Hey, Werner. If you're also tuned in, whether it's on the audio stream or on YouTube, please let me know. I did post to I did tweet on the Elworks Twitter. I'm not going to really watch that. Well, maybe I will. Why not? Let's get a little crazy. I'll try to watch the Elworks Twitter as well, which is Elworks Games. Not that there's really anything worth reading or following, and that's one thing I actually wanted to talk about today. But first of all, before I do anything else, I would like to thank my patrons. I don't know if this list is up to date currently, but this is the current Patreon list. Showing it up there on screen. I'll also read it out as well. I will be making sure that it is current as of the new year. But big thanks to Doug Schock, Crystal Bell, Jessica Miller, Wandering Waves, Michael Lau, Kyle Smith, Muno Arvajani, James Dean, Jim Denham, Anya Kristen, Trevor Johnson, Kevin Lyon, Stephen Luttrell, Simon Yeager, Shane Davidson, Austin Nix, Sarah Hawk, Jason Smith, Blind Life Gaming, Michael Welty, Lunar Raven, Heather Messaker, Audio Game Geek, Melissa Rowe, Hillary Duncan, Ashley Coleman, Shane Erlay, Courtney Barton, Bryant, Roland Engelsma, Kenny, Abdullah Dubase, Changeling, Chad Blanco, and Jack Filichek. So big thanks to all my awesome patrons. You can become a patron at lirvin.me/p. If patron is not your thing, you can also donate at lirvin.me/D. And that's just the letter D. D for donate, P for Patreon. Nice short links. They don't get much shorter than that, thankfully. So, James says, I like the social streams concept. I do too. You know what? I think sometimes it's nice to talk, answer questions, do an ask me, as I call it, the ask me almost anything. You know, obviously there's some questions I'm not going to ask or not going to answer. Ha ha ha. But you know, Joseph is listening via YouTube. Hey, Julian, how's it going? James is here. Stephen Crouch says, hello. I'm glad to hear that 2021 was great for you on year for you on streams. Listen, it really was. We did a lot of really cool stuff. I really enjoyed playing Blind Drive. I enjoyed the Veil. I think it was a cool year for gaming in general. It was just a lot of fun. There really weren't any real downsides. The marathon was amazing. I don't think you could ask for a much better marathon. Werner says it's good to be back. I think I said hi to Alex. If I didn't, hi, Alex. But, oh, hold on. I have a text really quick. Just a quick moment. Let's see. Oh, geez. Oh, okay. So, just, there's a couple things I'm just keeping my eyes on stuff. Hey, Miguel? Miguel? It looks like Michael, but with a G. I don't know if that's Miguel? How I pronounce that. But hi, welcome to the stream. Sorry for stopping there. I just wanted to check my phone. Yep, YouTube here too. I'm not a Twitch fan. Yeah, and I can't do both because I'm an affiliate. And I like YouTube better. I also have a lot more followers on YouTube, so it just makes sense. Anyways, with that being said, I wanted to do a really quick recap of 2021. It's not going to be like the Poptail Weekly recap from yesterday, which if you didn't watch it, please watch Poptail Weekly. I always quote the watch or I'll get fired thing. You guys watching will actually help keep those going. Hi, I have email. Yay, email. Oh, it's a Best Buy, a YouTube, and musician's friend. I'm going to close email. We don't need that. So I think that the really big thing that happened this year was Poptail Weekly and being sort of sponsored by Poptail and Wanderword and doing what I'm doing. In fact, I'm wearing my Wanderword shirt today. I wear it a lot. I'm really kind of wearing it out, but I love this shirt. It really is a cool shirt. Hey, how's it going? So it is a cool shirt. I mean, it's a sweet little hoodie. There is a cool streamer. I got it last year, and I love this thing. So yeah, the Poptail Weekly thing's been really fun. I know for a lot of people, it's not so fun. Oh, that was Ring. Okay. My doorbell. So maybe somebody is at my door. Maybe they're dropping off a package. I'm waiting for a box so I can send my AirPods back to get fixed. But yeah, so like it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I've actually met some really cool developers make these Alexa skills. And I think that it has been so much fun. Really, really loving it. Werner says, I watched all your Poptail Weekly videos. I'm so glad you have, Werner. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Well, I'm assuming you're enjoying them if you're watching them. I mean, for all I know, you could hate them, which is totally okay. I understand. So one of the things that I wanted to do today was let you guys ask some questions. Also, the other thing that happened in 2021 was the Jackbox stuff. Being able to help out a little bit and being an Easter egg, I think, is a highlight of my year. So maybe next year that will continue and we'll do other really cool stuff together. But I mean, I think this year has been really good. I think it's been fun. The marathon, like I said, was amazing. Please go back and watch that if you haven't already. Maybe if you watched it, go watch it again. One thing that I don't always say on streams, but I will point out, when you guys watch videos, I make a little bit in ad revenue. If you are a YouTube Premium subscriber, I also get some ad revenue. If you are using an ad blocker to block ads, I don't think I get revenue. I know ads are super annoying, but watching them actually helps me immensely. Watching these videos helps in general. I think there's maybe some in-video ads that might pop up that are like little cards at the bottom that are unintrusive. So if you can watch the videos and not stream rip them, like with like YouTube DL, I know some people do that so they can put them on like MP3 players and stuff. And that's totally cool. I get that. I'm guilty of doing the same thing, but if you could try to watch on YouTube, it actually is a huge, financial boost. So, like watching the marathon actually believe it or not, the marathon actually is somewhat decent ad revenue, and every little bit helps. Saad says, hi, bro. Love from Pakistan. Hey, thanks, man. I watched the in the T2020, I watched the India-Pakistan game, and that was really a lot of fun to watch. So thanks for writing in. How do I get set up so I make money off of YouTube ads? Yeah, you have to have a certain number of followers. I think it's like 1,000. It's a pretty decent number. So currently, I'm standing at, let me see if I can pull the number here. 2,314 subscribers. So we're moving up, and I always love to see growth. So there are a few things I wanted to talk about today, but I do want to let you guys ask questions. But I do have a couple points that I want to make. So maybe I'll get to the not so fun things first. Over the last couple months, I'm getting a lot more people. And I've talked about this, and I realize talking about it probably is not going to make a difference. I've gotten a lot of people messaging me on things like Skype and even Facebook. And so I just want to do a little quick reminder, and I'm going to be super nice about it. I'm not nice on these platforms, but I'm going to be nice here so that you've been warned. Skype and Facebook are very personal to me. They are not public platforms. Skype especially is, I instant message with a few close friends and stuff like that. It's not something to contact me, especially if that contact consists of just randomly calling me. I once received a call at 2 a.m. my time, which was very upsetting to me as I was trying to sleep. So please do not do it. Just don't. You don't need to contact me personally. There are ways, if you need to get a message to me, you can either, direct message me on Twitter, which I leave direct messages open for that reason. I kind of use it like email. If there's a question or something, that's fine. There is also email, which, let's be honest, email sucks. So I understand why people don't want to use it, but please don't be like going after me on Facebook and Skype. It's not going to happen. It is not cool. Just don't do it. Camaro 76 says, I don't even use Skype anymore. Yeah, I rarely use it. Hey, Bryant, how's it going? I like that Poptail helps us discover new Alexa games. I love YouTube Premium. Yeah, I like YouTube Premium. I like not having ads. Lexi says, hey, Liam, punching lots of monkeys while listening. Nice. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up really quick because I get the other thing too. Okay. So I don't know the nice way to say this. I'm getting a lot more requests to buy games for people. And it's such a weird thing. So I don't know why this started. I know there was a lot of, like, on the audio games forum that people were doing like, hey, I like this game. Can you buy it for me? And that was going on, and that's cool. What is not cool, though, is first of all getting a Skype call at 2 a.m. from somebody I don't know, and then having it followed up by a bunch of messages that go, hi, I want you to buy me Manamon 2. You did a marathon. You have money. You should give me that money. That's not okay. And first of all, it's not okay for a few reasons. Number one, you're Skyping me, and that's like no-go. Number two, the marathon is really designed so that I can help pay bills. And so that with the move coming up, which I'm going to talk more about later this month, I think. But, with the move coming up, obviously you have costs involved in moving. And then you also have costs in being able to make sure that you can keep a roof over your head. So, no, it does not work that way. I'm not going to just buy a game for somebody. Even with the contest this year, when we did the marathon, everything was donated by the companies. I did not buy games. We had things donated by companies and by a couple of viewers that wanted to chip in, but didn't necessarily want to donate, which was fine. I'm like totally cool with that. No, I will not buy you a game. I will not give you my registration key because, again, that's not allowed by the license. No, Lexi, you're fine. I mean, the issue that I have is I get a lot of people that I don't know messaging me on Skype, and I've kind of, I realize there are times that there are people that I do talk to. And usually I will reach out to somebody if I have a question about something or want to say, hey, or something, but I get a lot of people that I don't know. They're like random people. And I really, listen, I appreciate that people enjoy what I do. And I appreciate that people want to reach out and say hello and let me know that they enjoy what I do. And listen, that's super cool. The problem is that I also have my private space, right? Like, I am a human being and I want my space. I realize that I am well known in the community and that I am, I guess, famous, a celebrity. I don't know. I don't like those terms, but yeah. Really? It's 200 characters on chat? Saad says, I hate random calls, especially on WhatsApp. Oh my gosh. Those are the worst. Also, I don't know why their character limit is so low. It's ridiculous. I don't know if it's to keep from spamming or something, but it's pretty bad. So, yeah, anyways, that's, I just wanted to get, I like every so often, I feel like I got to bring it up. Skype over the last few weeks has been kind of bad. The begging for free games has also ticked up again. So the answer is no, I will not buy you a game. Full stop. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, and I feel for people. I hear from a lot of people, I'm young, I don't have access to this. And like, I get that. I understand it. I'm sorry. Like, it sucks. But listen, if I buy you a game, I have to buy everyone else a game. And I'm not buying everyone games, guys. I can't. It's just not happening. Nick says, you prefer to be successful rather than famous. Yeah, I mean, listen, fame is cool because people know who you are sometimes, and that's all right. But I would rather be successful. Obviously, it is nice to know, like, to have people know who you are, because if they didn't know who I was, they wouldn't tune in. Right? Yeah, Thier says, yes, hello, Liam. Please buy me everything because I deserve to magically get everything. Okay, thank you. You're the best. Thier, I'm not buying you anything. Also, me and Thier have a cool announcement coming up next week. I'm really excited, and I cannot wait for you guys to see what we're working on. We're doing a really cool thing in January. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so sorry that some weird stuff happens to you, Liam. No, it's cool. I mean, it is what it is. I have to point it out because every now and then it ticks up, and I really hope that me saying something like will help. I'm sure it won't, but you know, I just want people to understand why they're getting blocked. Like, my method now, if you Skype me and I don't know you, especially if it's a phone call, you're going to get blocked. It's an instant block. There's no, I'm not going to find out what you need, who you are. It's block. Just instant block. Again, I do welcome direct messages. I don't want to say I welcome them, but they are a way if you need to comment on something or give feedback or ask a question. It does not necessarily mean that you're going to get a response. So that's another thing. If you write something, I may have seen it, but I'm also busy. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to get to everything that is sent to me. I get a lot of stuff, man. All right, so a couple. Yeah, here we go. Now we're getting some questions. Okay. Dan Walker says, why is it that someone Skype you in the morning at 2 a.m. and ask you to buy them games? Who the blank would do that? How rude. I don't understand. I don't get it. And I don't know. All right, so let's get to some questions. I'm curious if the Super Liam you were going to do is still planned. If you're referring to Super Liam 2, like an audio version, let me get to that. Camaro agrees that some games are pricier than others. Manamon is pricey because of the amount of money that was paid for music that needed to be recouped. I also think there may be an ongoing licensing fee. I don't know if it was a buyout. So again, keep in mind that music did cost money, and the music is a part of what makes the game good. Are you still going to update the Grand Theft Auto accessibility mod? I hope that Super Egg Hunt gets updated. Okay, so let's talk about Elworks. We're just going to go into this. I have no plans in the future to do any more game development at all. And I want to talk about why that is, because it is a regular question I receive, and I understand, especially BrainStation. I'm actually really shocked no one's asked me about that yet. I'm completely burnt out on coding. I'm burnt out on development. A big part of my burnout comes from the fact that BGT was discontinued, and I put all my eggs in the BGT basket. And unfortunately, if I would like to update any of my games, I will need to rewrite my games from scratch. And I don't want to do that. I'm tired. I put a lot of work into them. BrainStation, for example, is about 85% complete, but I can't release it because BGT is discontinued. And there are some major issues with BGT that I can't get over. One of them is that Windows Defender flags it as a virus. I also cannot draw to the screen, and I cannot compile for multiple platforms. These things are deal breakers for me. The first one especially, I don't want to have to tell somebody to turn off Windows Defender, and I don't want to have to tell every customer how to create an exception. Look at what they go through with Crazy Party. Can you imagine having to do that on a large scale? It's just not okay. And I don't want to recode everything over again because that was a lot of work. Super Egg Hunt might not be as bad to do again. Obviously, I did Great Toy Robbery and Python, and I was very unhappy with how it came out. The amount of work to keep it current sucks. Compiling for Mac really sucks. I don't have a current Mac, so I can't even do it. I'm not buying another Mac. And then like, it's just, I'm tired, man. I don't feel like the amount of work that I'm going to put in is going to be worth it when I could hopefully do something that might be a full-time job with benefits and, something that's going to allow me to put food on the table. And that's going to be really important come April when I'm moving. So I can't really justify it. I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad because I know that you guys want to play BrainStation and I want to play BrainStation. It's something that I want to share with people. It's something that I would love to see schools use. It's something that I would love to be able to give away. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Chat kind of blew up. All right. So let me, well, 2 a.m, though, could be 2 p.m. for you, them. Still ridiculous, though. You don't just call someone at random. No, I agree. I meant the Super Liam. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll get to that. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, Brian. Let's see. I need a computer. Please buy it for me. No, I will not. What are you going to do with the scoreboards to all of your games? So my plan is to keep the infrastructure for Elworks going. So I'm not going to take down the scoreboards. I do need to move Elworks to a different server. I'm paying way too much money per month right now for the Elworks server. It needs to be moved to something that is smaller. If I could bring it down to a droplet or something, I would do that. I think I'm going to do that. That's sort of on my list of things to do in the new year. I'd like to have that done before I move. Was BGT used in BeatStar and Crazy Party? Yes, BGT was used in a lot of games. I believe the newer BeatStar was rewritten, or was it Rhythm Rage? I can't remember. Oriole rewrote one of them. What do you mean by draw to the screen? Good question, James. What I'm referring to is being able to display text and possibly images on the screen. So, for example, I wanted to have a caption panel that would show a sighted person everything that the game was saying, so that an educator or a parent would be able to see what their child was doing. Because I was really hoping that BrainStation could be used by children, could be used by adults, could be used by people with low vision. And in order to do that, I would need to draw things on the screen. Lexi says, it's okay. I'm content with the games you've made. If you chose to make something in the future, that's your decision. Yeah, I mean, so Super Egg Hunt, I had a lot of really cool updates planned. There was the really neat little grid mode that actually is really kind of cool. Obviously BrainStation is a pardon the pun, is a no-brainer. Yeah, the newer BeatStar was rewritten. Okay, so it was BeatStar. That's what I thought. So, I mean, that's for me, that's the big thing. And it sucks. I'm not thrilled that that's the route I'm going. But I'm tired. I don't want to reinvent the wheel again. And really, I'm not content with Python. I'm not content with the systems that are out there. So it's I just don't want to do it again. I wish I did, because there's a lot of stuff that I think we could still do. Obviously, Super Liam 2 would be amazing. Let's be honest. I have a lot of really cool plans for that. Okay, I can see where that would be really handy. I wish that could be the case in other audio games. Would make it easier for me to show them to sighted people. Well, it would. And even if, like I said, all I had was a caption panel, I would like to have something on screen. And I realize that the quick and easy option is to do the famous change the title of the title bar. I'm not okay with that because it just, A, it doesn't look right, and B, it's just not really a good thing to do. Did you hear that Crazy Party and Screaming Strike both had updates? Yes, I knew that Crazy Party had one. I didn't know about Screaming Strike. So I will definitely have to look at that. I am aware of Crazy Party, though, and I did update. So that's done. So Brian asked about, Margot asked about Grand Theft Auto accessibility. The answer is I have no plans to update it. I'm thinking in the next couple months that I'm just going to abandon it and then kind of release it. I was going to do it on GitHub, but I think I'm just going to throw the a page up on the L. Irvin site with a link to get it, and people can just do whatever they want with it. I don't have the interest in messing with it anymore. I don't feel like there's a future in it. I don't feel like the game gives you enough to really do anything. It's just not worth it. Also, I didn't receive any donations, and I understand that it was a very, it was sort of like an experimental project, but I received a total of $2. So, the amount that I'm spending for hosting the server, the droplet and everything is not worth it. It's not something that I feel is successful. I would rather not have to have that hanging over my head. So, there's a new mode in Screaming Strike? Oh. Okay. Now I'm interested. So that's Grand Theft Auto. I invite anyone to mess with it that wants to. My problem is there's so many steps to get the game running, and the fact is that the mod does so very little. It doesn't help you play through story. It doesn't really add anything super meaningful, and it's fun. But it's not meaningful, and so I don't see it being worth messing with. Also, I am not really supposed to be releasing. The way that I did it was I wasn't supposed to release the extra libraries with it. I haven't gotten yelled at, but I think I'm breaking the terms of service, so I apologize to the creators of the Grand Theft Auto V mods that I'm building off of. I think you're supposed to actually download them separately. That's Grand Theft Auto accessibility. I want to focus my time on streaming, doing accessibility outreach and advocacy, and maybe seeing how I feel in the future as far as development goes. But I'm pretty burnt out coding. I've kind of reached the limit on like what I want to do. And so I don't know. It doesn't interest me. My brain, I don't know. I can't, I look at code and it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. And maybe I need to see a doctor about ADHD or something, but I can't focus on it. Saad says, what is the marathon? So every year I stream for 24 hours. Well, this year was 24 hours, and we split it up over 2 days, and people could tune in and donate. And when they donated, I would torture myself by either having to play Adventure at C:// or drinking hot sauce, which ended very badly, or eating salted licorice. And I like to do them every year. They're a lot of fun. We play fun games. We have fun, and there's fun. So one of the things that Bryant asked was, what's going on with the Super Liam portion of the marathon? So originally, we were supposed to play Super Liam, and Aether was going to join me, and we were going to do a sort of behind-the-scenes director's commentary, because Aether was with me for most of the process of creating the game. So we both have a lot of really cool stories to tell. We can talk a lot about what went into these things and stuff like that. But we didn't have the time for it. So what we're going to do is in February, we're going to do a marathon. And it's not going to be a full-on marathon, but we're going to take a day. We're going to stream. We're going to play through Super Liam, talk about it. We might do some other stuff like either Crazy Party or Jackbox, but we're going to try to make up what we missed on the original marathon. And donations, of course, are welcome, not mandatory. Donations will be going towards the big move in April, which looks like it's pretty much set. It looks like we are set to go. We are go for launch. And it'll be exciting to be broadcasting from a room that is more built like a studio. We will have an office. I'm sharing the office, but there will be an office room, which is exciting, and it'll be nice. I'm looking forward to it, but it's going to be a process. Marco says it's stupid that Rockstar thinks accessibility costs millions. Yes, it does. It's not stupid. It is absolutely correct. Let me explain that. Let me explain why it costs millions. In the real world, when you want something developed by a programmer that works for the company, a number of things have to happen. And I can speak on this because I've lived this as somebody that worked in the business world. So I'm going to use I'm going to use my former job as an example. So I worked writing software for a print to braille transcription company. And so what we did was we would take bills from utility companies and we would turn them into braille. And so I'm just going to make up some names. So let's say we were doing work for the First National Bank of Chicago, which I don't even know if that's a real bank, but let's just say that's what it was. And the First National Bank of Chicago said, hey, we would like you to take our bills and send our braille bills to customers. So we would like you to take these bills, turn them into braille, send them out. It's a multi-step process. Now, I am kind of getting off course, but I will get back on course. So just stick with me because this will all make sense in a moment. So we would go, okay, that's cool. So here's what we're going to do. We need to write software to take your electronic bills, sort the data out into something that can be sort of turned into braille, because if you've ever read a bill or anything for that matter in braille, you know that it's not the same as it would be in print. Things in print have columns and rows and tables and little boxes and stuff like that. So it doesn't work that way. So we had to write software, and that had to be, done. So one of the things that had to happen was we had to do a cost estimate. So we would have to say to this company, listen, we will do the software, but it's going to cost a certain number of man hours. And so they would sit down with me and they go, Liam, we need you to write software for the First National Bank of Chicago. Here is a sample bill. This is what the bill looks like. How long is it going to take you to make this? So I had to look at the data, take a look at it and figure out, okay, well, I think it's going to take me X number of hours. So I then had to be billed for those. The company had to then be billed for the hours. It's a little different in a gaming company. So obviously they're creating the game. That is their deal. But what actually has to happen is a project manager goes, how long will it take the programmer to add these features? Then the programmer sits down and figures out, well, it's going to take me this amount of time to do this and this and this, and then gives an estimate. And it has to be part of the budget of the title. I know it sounds a little strange because you're probably like, well, but they're hiring these people to work anyways, which yes, they are. But everything is done in budgets. Everything is number crunched. It's not like a hobbyist project where really you're not billed on hours. It's not based on how many hours something will take. But like hours in the real world is like a real commodity. People will only do something for so many hours because that's money. And it's weird. And I know if you're not familiar with it, you're like, Liam, that's screwed up, but that's life, man. Everything is budgeted out. Hi, Liam, meeting let out early. Nick, yeah, that's correct. I'm moving in with her. So I'm moving down there. Hey, Joshua, how's it going, my bro? So, yeah, I mean, it's weird. So yes, theoretically, from a programming perspective, it does not take millions of dollars to code something. But the problem is that when you budget, it's millions of extra dollars of time that is actually being spent by the programmer. And let me tell you something about programmers, unless you're me. Because I worked for a nonprofit, it was kind of I was paid differently. I'm just going to say that. I don't want to speak ill of anybody, but in the real world of like full-on corporations, programmers are paid a lot. And I do mean a lot of money. So a programmer, their time is very rigidly monitored, controlled, and budgeted. So you're not going to sit for 3 hours and twiddle your thumbs because, oh my gosh, let me tell you, a programmer at a studio is making some serious coin, especially when that studio is a AAA studio. Brian, thanks. I'm glad you understand. It is a lot of hard work. It is. I would love to. And please don't think that I'm saying that I'm never, ever going to make a game again, because that's not what I'm saying. And I don't want you guys to be like, Liam's never going to make games again. He's never going to do it. But just for the foreseeable future, I can't. That could change. Listen, down the road, that could always change. And that's why I'm not closing the door on it. But it is something that I don't feel like my heart's not in it, you know? But yeah, I just wanted to answer that question from Marco, because it is a really interesting statement, and you're not wrong. And you're not wrong to say that. And I don't want you to think that I'm telling you that you're wrong. But let me read that again. Yeah, it's stupid that Rockstar thinks so. It doesn't. Like I said, I mean, theoretically, as I've proven, yes, it can be done. The problem is in the framework of having it developed by a company, it does cost millions. The estimate, because of the way that the game was written, because of all the work that would have to be done, the estimate was $100 million to rewrite all the parts of the engine that would have to be rewritten to properly implement accessibility. And that gets to a point that I'll make in about 2 seconds. But Lexi says, are you streaming on New Year's Eve? No, I'm not planning on it. I will probably do New Year's Eve next year, though. Actually, I might. I'm not going to say for sure, because that's a year away. But this year, definitely no. The point that I want to make. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, I can't answer this right now. Yeah, I can't. The point that I want to make is the importance. And if somebody asked me one thing, and actually I preached this a couple months ago on a call with somebody, the importance of adding accessibility at the ground floor level, not making an accessibility an 11th hour fix. Had Rockstar done that this was way back, 2013. So let's be honest, it wasn't on anyone's radar. Had Rockstar done that in 2013, and built accessibility from the ground, built the engine with accessibility in mind, it would not cost $100 million. But it's just, this is what happens when you have something that is that size and scope. It is so expensive to do. So that's when, if somebody asks me something, especially, from a development standpoint, the thing that I'll always tell them is start with accessibility in mind. Don't do it later. Don't do it when you're 5% into your project. You have to be ready to do it when you start the project, and it needs to be in your planning process. It needs to be one of the first things you think about, not the 15th, not the 8th. It needs to be right up there, because if you can build with accessibility in mind and you're not patching it in later, you'll be so much more successful. Your accessibility systems and solutions will be way more robust. And if you have to retrofit later, to maybe fit in for a new disability, or modify, it's not going to break the bank. Yeah, I enjoy playing with your mod. I have other mods that make the game more playable. Yeah, I've also learned how. But the problem with all these features is they're half baked. It's not something that you can just easily do. There's a lot of fiddling, and the fact is you still can't enjoy the story, and it's not a great experience. Hey, Adele. Okay, I just want to see what this. Oh. Um. Oh. Somebody got their home pod. Okay, cool. I was just getting texted about it, and a friend of mine's in Florida, which is like the word. Okay, so Brian says, can you imagine all those lines of code you have to browse through and change, not to mention adding other lines of other libraries you have to add? So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it right, and I say do it right because like really like there's the right way and the wrong way to do it. The right way is to obviously build in as you're going, and then you're not, like I said, having to retrofit later. But yeah, it unfortunately adds just mountains of extra work. And I haven't seen, I think the only company really that has gotten it right is probably Naughty Dog, because they've built accessibility into their engine, and they've built it in such a way where they can tack on, and as they're building a new game, they can sort of use the existing pieces. Nobody has really done that other than them. And Brian says, see, this is my problem with Hearthstone, and one of the reasons I will not play or support it. I don't feel it should be a third party's responsibility to make a game accessible. So I'll agree and disagree. I agree that it should not be a third party's responsibility. But I do feel that third parties can do it, and it's nice to see. I also appreciate that Guy Dev made everything that he did transparent to show Blizzard what was needed to do it. Of course, that's going to go back to my whole man hours thing, is that Blizzard then needs to get a programmer to institute the changes and then keep up with the changes. And I don't know if they would ever do that. Blizzard seems more open to accessibility, but I don't know how far that openness goes. Like, they're interested. And I know, because I've spoken to people, and I know Brandon has definitely spoken to people, but like, I think that interest only goes so far. And again, that, man hours. This new game I'm addicted to called Sorty Quest. Yeah, I played Sorty Quest a little bit. It's not a bad game. Yeah, I don't know how I would stream it because I don't have a thing to send video from my phone to the capture card. But it's not a bad little game. So what I think would help with accessibility is having more blind people that play these games and that actually call for changes to be made. But it's also, I've always said it's this horrible catch-22. In order to have people play games, you need them to have games to play. So like, in order to get more people to buy consoles, there needs to be games for them to play on these consoles. But the problem is in order for them to have games to play on these consoles, they need to buy consoles. So we're in this sort of like, horrible sort of loop. It's like, how are you going to get more if you don't have more to get, but you need to get, it's like, it's rough. I also think we need more blind people playing games. And companies need to realize that people are doing that. But unfortunately the problem is it's not. So if we all buy a game, it does not make it doesn't make enough of a financial impact in order to sort of make people stand up and go, wow, this is amazing. We're really making money from these blind gamers. Let's keep adding stuff for them. Yeah, based on what Guy Dev, what he pulled off and how he did it, Blizzard should just hire him for accessibility. Listen, I agree with that fully. The problem, I think, well, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Guy Dev, but I think the problem is that I think for what he would, and it's not what, like, I want to phrase this right, but like what somebody who programs gets paid, again, in the real world and for a large company, I don't think they would want to spend that. And I just don't see that happening, but I agree with that assessment. Third-party mods show devs that this can be done, but this is also generating Blizzard money from myself and many others. It is, and the thing is that it is generating revenue for them. The unfortunate thing is it's probably a drop in the bucket, unfortunately. I don't feel like that it's generating enough that really gets them to go, wow. Now, the cool thing, though, is that at least they haven't blocked it. So that, to me, is like a victory. I'm glad to see that they haven't blocked it and have been like, no, you can't do this. We're not allowing it. But it's still kind of, I don't know. I have been very uncomfortable with the idea of third-party mods that incorporate accessibility. For God's sakes, hold on. Oh, really, everyone's calling me today, man. My phone's going nuts. It never goes nuts, by the way. I can be hanging around all day. Phone never rings. But it's like, well, once Liam's streaming, everyone call him. So yeah. Anyways, the long and short is that I like the idea of modding. I like the idea of showing that improvements can be made, but I also get scared because I'm like, well, if this is being done, like, are developers really going to want to do it? Or are they just going to be like, yeah, let the geek do it. We don't have to pay him. But I do like the proof of concepts that we're seeing. I know someone's been playing with doing a Stardew mod. I have to say also, I played with that idea a couple of years ago and really didn't get far on it. So I'm glad to see that someone is trying it and is making some progress. And hopefully they can turn that into something that is workable and will allow people to play the game. But again, that's one of those things where I feel like this is something that we should be really putting on developers and expecting developers to do. Yeah, Blizzard can't afford the bad press that would come from shutting something like this down. It would just be another thing to add to the pile. Yeah, it's probably, not, and two, probably it's not negatively affecting them at all. So it doesn't, why would you do it? It's like, it's like they know it's there, like, clearly. But I don't think it's something that they find threatening. If it was, they would shut it down and they wouldn't care. But yes, the press would suck. So yeah, I don't know. I don't forget how we got. I think this all started with the Grand Theft Auto stuff. But yeah, I don't know. This has been kind of a frustrating year for accessibility for me. Personally, I have been very annoyed with the lack of progress made in general. And I understand that we had the Veil, which was cool because it actually got mainstream people to notice accessibility. A lot of people may not realize this, but it was actually shortlisted, I believe, for one of the accessibility awards at the at the Gaming Awards. So like, that's a big deal. That's pretty friggin' huge. But I don't feel like we made a lot of progress this year. I guess like we saw, improved accessibility with PS5. Sony finally did a screen reader that's not hot garbage. Um, Unfortunately, EA made no strides this year at all. I actually kind of feel like they went backwards. Um, Forza is really cool. And I do want to say that I have a lot of love and respect for the Forza team. Um, knowing folks over at Microsoft Studios, I know that they're really trying. So like I feel in some ways they succeeded. The sign language thing is huge. Yes, it doesn't affect us, but Forza Horizon 5 having sign language is really awesome. And I think that is actually something that even if you don't use it, are never going to use it, it is definitely something that you should be happy about. But I was really disappointed in that a lot of the things that could have been done with narration were not done. Age of Empires, which I didn't cover, has a narrator, but it doesn't narrate the heads-up display. So it's sort of like we're still in this mindset of maintaining compliance versus trying to push the narrative forward. And I've really been disappointed and let down about that. I one of the bright spots I think was Jackbox. It's nice to see a smaller company trying to improve accessibility, and it's really cool to talk to people over there and answer a lot of really cool questions and have really cool discussion and talk about things that they didn't think about and actually ask some really good questions and then have them go, why didn't we think about that? And that's been really cool. I can say Brand's working on another long-term project. I have no idea what it is, but there are big things coming, and that's good. But we need many much more big things. I also, as much as I love Last of Us, we really need a game that we can actually like maybe share with people that won't trigger them. I love what they did, and I think it's cool, but it's very hard to promote it because it's not exactly a family-friendly game at all, like ever. But I am glad that we are making progress forward. The progress is not going at the pace I thought we'd see it going. I had really kind of hoped that this year would have been better, I guess. I wasn't expecting like the world to change, but I was kind of hoping we'd see more stuff. I do like the improvements we did see, though. I was very happy. Like I said, the Jackbox is still working, still going forward, still actively trying to improve things. Like the Veil was cool. I understand that for a lot of people, it wasn't a great game. It was like disappointing or rudimentary, but it's not so much something that I've said on my Veil streams is the game is not for you. And it's not for me. It's not for us. But what it really is for, and where we need to like really look is it's for the mainstream to show that audio gaming is a viable concept. And it's something that like I really feel like I focus less on the game. Like I enjoyed the game personally. I had a lot of fun with it. But I focus less on these things like going, well, I've seen that mechanic done before, or gee, that's rudimentary, or that's kind of basic. And I focus more on, wow, these people are trying to get this game onto a system, like, and get it in more people's hands and maybe get some more, stuff talked about and maybe some more press for people that only play games based on sound. So like, to me, that was a success. No, Nintendo Nintendo Switch had accessibility. No, Switch never had text to speech. I will confirm that. They did have navigation. I don't know what's happened to it, but I will confirm there was no text to speech. Don't kid yourself. We know you're waiting on the world to change. Model wise, how would you compare game mods for accessibility to, say, Osara for Reaper, where the devs are both open and responsive to making changes for the sake of better accessibility? Good. It's a really good question, Timothy. I would have loved to have seen Reaper had the functionality baked into it, but I do appreciate that the devs are like, hey, we know you're trying to do this thing, and we want to help. And so I know that they've actually done things to help Osara. So I'm cool with that. I mean, I still am of the mindset that accessibility should be a feature and not an option. That being said, though, I am always okay with the happy medium of a developer going, listen, we don't want to code this for various reasons, but we will do this thing to make your life easier if you're going to code it. I'm cool with that. I think that's fair. I think sometimes you do have to make, you do have to like meet in the middle. So I'm not going to expect, you can't expect them to do everything. Sometimes I feel like you do have to help and kind of be part of the process. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, no, Switch never had text to speech. Did have magnification though. I don't know what Nintendo's deal is. I mean, the little that I've talked to developers when discussing accessibility, we've discussed Nintendo and the Japanese mindset and the culture. I've always been told it was a cultural thing. I don't really know what that meant, but whenever I ask, it's a cultural thing. So I don't know why you would think that Nintendo would be, they're like the one holdout, and I don't know what they're holding out on, but somebody sent me this morning, it was a really cool article on, it was like, how are these Nintendo games playable for the blind? Like, how well do they work? And I was like, this is a really cool article and that's great, but like really Nintendo has not done a lot. So anything that is playable has been through trial and error and just luck. And it kind of is unfortunate that Nintendo does not acknowledge that blind people want to play these games and try to improve accessibility to their system. And every time a new firmware comes out, I'm always checking it. I'm like, ooh, new Nintendo software. I want to know what's new. And, the only accessibility thing was large font, which I was happy for, like, because I'm not one of these people, and I used to be one of these people, and then I realized how sort of asinine it was. But I'm not one of these people that looks at an accessibility feature and goes, yeah, I don't care. That's not going to help me. I look at an accessibility feature as a step forward. So, example, you guys hear me really like praise Forza for the, American Sign Language. I think that's huge. Does it help me? No. Do I want to see narration be improved? Yeah. Do I want like audio guides for the streets? Yeah. Do I want to know what I'm passing? Yeah. Do I want audio description? Yeah. But I still think any success is a success. So anything that has to do with accessibility, I think is a really good step forward. Where I get frustrated and annoyed is when we stagnate. So when a company goes, well, we did this much, I guess we're good. No. You don't stop. You're very successful. Don't rest on your laurels, as it were. Keep going. And so I think that's why I've been really kind of frustrated with like EA, who I really feel have some really talented people that do some really amazing things. And so it's frustrating to see that when you're not seeing the steps forward that can be made. It's really frustrating. One of my teachers was asking me to run an audio demo of some audio games, or just some accessible games. What games do you think would be good to demo for class setting? What kind of class? Who is your demographic? And I can probably give you a better idea. I mean, honestly, this is not like self-promotion. It is a little bit. But Super Egg Hunt is always a really good game to demo. It's one I love to bring out when teaching people about audio games, because it's a really easy pick up and play game. It's very easy to explain, and doesn't take a lot of learning. And I think people will pick up on it easy. This is why I'm not a fan of EA at the moment. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. EA, I think, is going through their own stuff. I think they're having their own problems. It's nothing like the problems Blizzard's having, but I think they're having their own issues. So I don't know. It's sad. But, EA's problems really they spread farther than just accessibility, to be honest with you. So I don't feel like accessibility is the only problem. The Madden series has stagnated in general. I think, honestly, all their sports games really have. I know people were complaining about NHL. They're like, well, it's great that it's using Frostbite, but it's like they didn't add anything new. They just did minor stuff and called it an update. And it's like they're not, people don't feel like that we're getting stuff. It'd be cool if Last of Us was for the PC. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that'll ever happen. I don't think Sony wants to give that up. That's like a exclusive for them, and they sold like 4 million friggin' copies of it for PlayStation. So I think, part of that is when you can sell it, you can also sell the console, and they want to sell the console. So to sell the console, you're going to sell the game as well. When you did the demo of Super Egg Hunt's grid mode a long time ago, that was cool. Yeah, it was really cool. That was fun. I really, really enjoyed that. So, let's see what, anything else. I noticed my concurrent viewers is bouncing all over the place, which is really interesting. So I want to talk about what we're doing next year, because we've been talking about like all this stuff, but like we haven't talked about next year. What's going on next year? So next year, we've got, for the fourth time, we're going to do that Hellhunter Anti-Nomen. And the reason we're doing it again is the author has added some accessibility features for people like me that are hard of hearing. And I feel like it's the least I can do to play again and check those things out and see how they are. I was asked if I would play it by the developer, and I promised I would, and I haven't gotten to it yet, so I apologize, Aaron. I will get to your game. We're also obviously going to be doing much more Crazy Party, more Jackbox, hopefully more Hearthstone. I'd like to do more of that. We'll be doing in February, we're going to be doing a really cool stream where we do the sort of like director's commentary of Super Liam. I will be playing it. Athir will join me. We're going to tell some stories. We're going to talk about it. I'll probably die a lot. Yeah, Austin says rip John Madden. Yeah, I know. Isn't that something? I'm talking about a class full of chronically bored teens with a relatively calm teacher. Are these teens sighted or blind? That's also important. Because I feel like if they're sighted, you've got to wow them with good audio. If they're blind, yeah, Super Egg Hunt's fine. But if they're sighted, Blind Drive's not a really good example for kids. But I would say The Veil would be a good one. Yeah, Blind Drive's a horrible idea, actually. So don't do that. When it comes to Hearthstone, yes, there's a number of things that aren't accessible. And I'm not going to speculate because that's not my mod. I hope that he eventually can do them. I understand that he's got his own limitations. He recently stopped accepting donations, which scares me a little bit. But I also understand that it takes pressure off of him. So now people can't be like, well, we're giving you this money. So he'll be able to work at his own pace, which is good. Yeah, I would say Blind Drive except the file language. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, it would actually be a really good game to present, except for that. Maybe if you were like in college. Will I ever continue playing Rhythm Heaven? Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, I don't know what more I could do with it. I would like to do Megamix, but emulation is kind of weird, and it's like it doesn't sync correctly. And it's really noticeable in some later games. I wonder if Madden NFL will have its name changed now that no, I don't think so. I think it'll stay the same. Yeah, I didn't know this. There have been Madden games since 1988, I believe. They just weren't called Madden, but apparently he was very instrumental in the creation of those games. So, yeah, I have to agree. I don't want to introduce kids to the blue language. Otherwise, I think it'd be a great game. I think it'd be perfect. I think it would it'd be wonderful. Some can see well enough to read, but I'm the only one that knows anything about accessible games. Super Egg Hunt then is not a horribly bad option, except for I don't know how you're going to because it's really based on stereo. Another thing that might be good, Blind Insanity, I don't know which country you're in, but I was going to suggest even doing some echo skills. But again, I don't know where you live, so it may not be viable for you. But I always find that introducing people to something like Starfinder, or I mean, I don't care what game you use. Obviously, you guys know that I'm going to mention Poptail stuff first. Since they're my friends, and I'm sort of hired to do that. But whatever you pick, I think would be good. I just don't know where you're at. But if you go that route, I mean, there's a lot of really good games you could do. Starfinder would be a really good one, actually, and I think that's pretty sweet. I'm obviously Escape 63rd, not so much. Trying to think of some other cool adventure-y ones that I've played. I guess A Bard's Tale would be cool too. I want to stream that really bad. Hoping I'm going to talk to my boss next week and see if I can stream it. There was something they were working out, and I was kind of asked to hold off for a little bit before I stream it. But I think A Bard's Tale is pretty sweet. But if you're going to do computer audio games, Veil would be cool because there's still a good story, and it's not obviously you need stereo audio, but there's enough that should hopefully keep people interested. I don't think it's necessarily the language, but the dark humor of running people over would work. No, the language is a huge problem. Trust me. I mean, out of the gate, it's a problem 10 seconds into the game. I still think it's a great game. I absolutely adore it. But Blindy Bear says, "Are you ever making games again, Liam?" Short answer is probably not. Long answer is I might down the road, but not anytime soon. Adele asked the same question, so hopefully that answered it. What about Blind Swordsman? I don't know. Maybe. It's a cool game. A little dark and violent, I think, personally. Definitely not something that I know they're teens. Still not something I would introduce to children. Yeah, I definitely would not. Like, I'm thinking about this because I might be doing some gaming thing later this year for a group. And so now you guys have me thinking about what games to introduce. And so that's actually, it's got me thinking. You know, the cool thing about Super Egg Hunt is I was in Utah in 2005. I was teaching a class. I was doing a basic like introduction to programming thing. And I was probably the worst person to teach it. But what I ended up doing for the second half of the workshop was I let people play some Elworks games. And I remember there was a dad brought his kid over, and his kid, I think, was autistic. And he was definitely blind, and he had a secondary disability. I don't remember what it was. I think it was hold on, sorry. Like he had a secondary disability. I don't know if it was a sensory disability, but it was something. And I was like, hey, I just made this game called Super Egg Hunt. Why don't you try it? And I showed the kid, I'm like, all right, this is how you run around. These are the things to look out for. And you need to run away from this chicken. And the kid, man, you guys, he was into it. And his dad told me, he's like, I've never seen him so engaged. And it was amazing. So a lot of people ask me too, like, why did you do a lot of pick up and play simple games? Why didn't you do like an RPG or something complicated? And that's why, because I love stuff that anybody can just pick it up and play it. It takes you maybe a minute to learn and a while to really get good at. I love stuff like that. And those are the games that in the sighted community sell like hotcakes. Obviously, yes, people enjoy their RPGs, their open world games, their first person shooters. But I'm telling you that where the money is at and where the players are at is a simple game that anyone, regardless of age, regardless of maybe, regardless of disability, but regardless of age, regardless of skill level, can just pick up and enjoy is like where it's at. And like, I am fully in favor of that. That's why I'm such a big fan of, like, I love Super Egg Hunt. I think it's my best game. I'm like, Super Liam was cool because it was like the first one ever done, like first platformer. But like Super Egg Hunt to me is my favorite game because like anyone can play it. And there's not a lot to learn. I adore that thing for that reason. It was easy. And it's fun, and like people still play it. Skills could work. Super Liam or Super Egg Hunt could also be doable. Although Blind Drive is a bad idea. Thanks for the recommendations. I think that's why the voice first games without too much setup works really well as demos. Blind Insanity, let me know, because I mean, like, if you go the skills route, obviously I can suggest a lot of stuff, and depending on what you're doing, let me know. I might be able to help you out. Audio games, kind of a tougher sell, because it's so all over the place. But obviously, I'm really big into the voice first stuff because I really think that there's a big market for it. I think there's a lot of untapped potential. And I think it's something that pretty much anyone can get into. But yeah, I mean, oh man, that was so cool. I remember with Utah, it was like 15, 16 years ago. And it was so cool because like the dad was like, oh, you do games. I'd like to see him play games. And I was like, yeah, let's try this game. See how he does with it. And he was like, it was like a duck to water. It was amazing. Such a cool experience. And I was floored really that I had done this thing and he was just that into it and loved it. My computer teacher actually used Duck Blaster, Top Speed 3, Tic-Tac-Toe, and Freedom Millionaire. Well, in all of those games, listen, they're all games that are really easy to pick up and play. I would highly recommend. I mean, all of those things are good examples of games that are easy, and that's a lot of people want that because if you stop to think about it, right? So you have people that are blind, so it's already a small market. You have people that may have a secondary disability, so that makes the market smaller. Obviously, you've got varying ages. So if you can make something that is like as many people in that market can play as possible, that's how you're successful. And so games like, Lone Wolf are great. GMA Tank Commander are great. Lone Wolf especially is a really good example because it's a sim and not everyone can do sims. It's a really cool game, but there's kind of a niche market because only certain people are going to be able to play that. Whereas I keep coming back to Super Egg Hunt, but Super Egg Hunt, listen, anyone can play that. The only thing is if you're deaf in one ear, it's going to be very difficult to play. And I didn't really plan for that because I didn't think that far ahead. But the fact is that it's a game that like you can play. Obviously, you should read the manual first, but if you don't, you can figure it out. It might take you a little bit, but within 5-10 minutes, you got this thing. Heck, if you want to go tactile non-computer, Bop It would work, or some of the other ones like Mancala. What's the other game? There was that like chop the boards game. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Someone was telling me about that. They had it at Target. You like chop the lights or something. I understand where you're coming from, but an RPG does not have to be super complex with lots of things to learn. You can also introduce the player to each concept gradually as they make progress. Yeah, it's true. You can, and you're right. And I would agree with that. The only thing is that it's still a lot going on, and it's still a lot for the player to remember. And if the player has an intellectual disability, such as a learning disability, that could be too much for them. So one of the most successful games, I don't know if it's broken any records, but like one of the most successful games was Peggle. And it was a pick up and play game for sighted folks. And literally the whole point of Peggle was that you launch a ball from the top of this board and it rolls down the board and hits pegs. It's kind of like Plinko from Price is Right or Pachinko, if you're familiar with what that is. And it was so popular because you just launched a ball. You aimed where the ball was going to go, you launched it, and the ball bounced down the board. And it took very little things to learn. There were some more advanced concepts, but it was still simple enough where like anyone could learn it. Look at games like Bejeweled, where it's just lining up gems. Look at games like Fruit Ninja, Angry Birds, Flappy Bird, Candy Crush, just all these simple games. They're easy because pretty much anyone can play them. So, and I'm certainly not saying that an RPG is bad, because I think RPGs are great. I love RPGs. The problem is that, again, when you do something like that, you've already shut out part of the community. And when your community is already small, I think sometimes that can be damaging. Obviously, there's markets for these things. Just tuning it back in. What is voice first? I think that's what you said. You said it's something anyone can get. Voice first, James, is any of the like echo skills, anything that uses your voice as an input. They call it voice first gaming, and it's it's huge with obviously like Alexa and stuff. Randy says I like Manamon. Yeah. D&D can be made accessible too, theoretically, if the DM is good at voicing everything. Listen, if you have a good character sheet, if you know the rules, if you have a DM that knows what he's doing or she's doing or they're doing, we're not going to pigeonhole here. Yeah, you can have a really successful campaign. I've played in them. It's a lot of fun. It's doable. It's fun. Hey, Luke, how's it going? I don't remember Chop the Boards. I do remember Break the Ice though. Oh yeah, I remember that was the one with the fat dude that sat on the block, and then like you had to hammer out the other blocks but keep him from falling off. Beep would have been the best seller of all time. I mean, theoretically, right? Like, if Beep actually had real content, Beep could actually be a really cool game. I'm not even being sarcastic. I genuinely mean that. If there was a point to Beep, Beep could be amazing because it's literally one button. It's a switch. Like, it's essentially, it could be a Switch controlled game. Any suggestions for getting started developing voice first skills as a blind programmer? I do have premium. Let's see. So I would say, there are definitely a lot of samples for doing Alexa skills. You can do them in Python, and they can also be done via the Amazon CLI, so that you don't have to use their editor. I would definitely look at some tutorials and get into doing that. That would be a really good start. I can't recommend Fabella right now, which is the system that we've got at Wanderword. And I can't recommend it because we're still working out some accessibility hiccups. It's a drag and drop system that allows you to essentially draw what you're building, and but it's really designed for like stories and interactive gaming. But it's completely like drag and drop right now. So that I can't recommend, but I will say when we get to that point, I think a lot of people are going to be using that to make their own stuff. Let's see. A lot of casual gamers don't like RPGs, and there are a lot of casual gamers. Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, like I said, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, Liam doesn't like RPGs. I love RPGs. I think they're great. I just, as a developer, I want to make something that the most people can play, because theoretically, like, if you have something that everyone can play, theoretically everyone can buy it. I don't mind RPGs, but they get boring after a while. Yeah, I don't mind them. I love like some open world stuff. I think that's something that we do need. Would be a nice, cool open world game. But obviously that opens up its own things, and yeah, I mean, but it doesn't have to be RPG. Oh, okay. I see. Sorry. Xavian Studios says hi. Hello. Let's see. I'm just checking to see if there's any messages. No, things are pretty quiet. Did my box come yet? Hey, yes, it was 108. Huzzah. Okay, cool. So I one of my AirPods, I have the AirPod Pros. The microphone in the left one is damaged for some reason, so Apple's going to let me send it back and they're going to fix it. Hopefully. I hope so. The main problem I have with some games is that they can have complex controls that take a while to get used to. Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean, that can be a problem for sure. And when you're doing something auditorily, that can be an even bigger problem. So I feel that. And, again, I'm certainly, I'm not saying that complex games are bad, because they're not. Not everyone wants to play Squish the Fruit or push the button. They want to play a full-on experience. And so I feel that. I'm just saying, as somebody who develops as a hobby, I want to maximize my returns. I do feel like, actually, one thing that I'd love to see more of is more playable card and board games. As somebody who's dating somebody that's not a big gamer, does not want to play something complex, and is more than happy to play Monopoly or cards. Anything that is playable online, that is card and board, is amazing. That's like, we're always looking for stuff like that, because it's something that she'll play with me. Yeah, the complex controls thing is why I could never get into stuff like Eurofly. Yeah, I mean, Eurofly is complex. You can learn it. Eurofly, if you're really into piloting, is super annoying because it doesn't use anything real world, minus the Atlas. It's just weird. The problem with open world is that you would have to put a lot of different types of guidance systems in to account for different skill levels, prefs, etc. Yeah, I mean, I think there's open world has its own set of challenges. So, yeah. Wasn't there a hedgehog? Oh, yeah. There was, what was it? The curb game where you keep crossing the road back and forth. Maybe, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but so I am having fun, but I'm looking at the clock and it is 2:30, and I unfortunately am going to have to do some things like eat. So, I'm going to wind it down for today, but I do want to thank you guys for showing up. It has been a lot of fun, and I enjoy chatting. I thought it would go for like 30 minutes, and we've been here for an hour and a half. There won't be any streams tomorrow. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Probably nothing on New Year's Day. I believe the next stream is going to be Monday. I have not scheduled it yet, but Aether will be joining me. We'll be playing some Crazy Party, and we're going to announce a little competition. Me and Aether have a little competition that we're going to be announcing, and you're more than welcome to play along at home for this competition, but it's going to be an interesting one, and the only thing I'm going to tell you is money is involved. So me and Aether will both be wagering, and one of us wins the pot. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us, Liam, says Timothy. You're welcome. Werner says, bye, Liam. Bye, Werner. Yeah, I do want to thank you guys again for being here. I apologize that I'm cutting and running, but I think dinner's ready. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. You guys, I'm hungry. So, Werner says, see you next time. Have a good afternoon and a good new year. Oh, I will. But yeah, Monday, we're going to announce this competition. I'm hoping 7 p.m. Eastern. I apologize for those that are in Europe. I know that kind of sucks. But you can always catch it on the rebound. Please, before you go, please make sure you subscribe. Click that like button on this video, but please subscribe if nothing else. Subscriptions are huge. They help the channel, I think, more than anything else. And as I look, I just want to see where I'm at. 2,314 subscribers. So we're moving on up. And I would love to get to 2,500. I think that would be great. Obviously, it's a ways away, but you can help. Please click that link. Yeah, Blindy Bear says, see you next year. Yeah, I won't see you till next year. Peace be with Liam. Hashtag feed Liam, says James. Yep. So I will see you guys later. As always, thanks for watching and or listening. Good night and good corn. I'll see you later.